The Stoics, for some reason, notwithstanding the fact that they were worshippers of Apollo, yet believed in a type of pantheism. God was nature, or God was to be found moving within differing parts of nature. They thought it possible that we might be very close to God. Whichever way you looked at it, for the Stoics, deity was a spirit in some sort of close relation with its natural creation. Zeus was either present in every particle of existence, every element, and every molecule, or else God chose different moments to move through differing parts of the universe and nature in spirit form. The question being, of course, whether or not God was essentially the same substance as the natural world, or was a spirit substance separate from it. Either way, the Stoics viewed deity, Zeus, the unity, the one God, as a being in close proximity with the nature of existence. Why, then, did the Stoics place so much emphasis upon the quality of perfection? The reason for this was due to their infatuation with logic. The method of logic was a new type of thought that led to scientific knowledge about the natural world. It was the impressive power of this new type of thinking that caused the early philosophers to much overvalue its worth when compared to other, more usual types of thinking. Emotion and myth and other types of thought, such as aesthetics, then came to be seen as opinions imagined upon a world of illusion and false appearances. It might only have been Epicurus who kept to a philosophical valuation of all types of human thinking and endeavor. At least this seems to be the position of Epicurus with regard to the difference between logic and emotion and pleasure. And if Epicurus was indeed a Dionysian, as Nietzsche seems to suggest, then his valuation of emotion and pleasure probably indicates that he still valued the mythic as well in some sense. It is most likely not that difficult to reconstruct his philosophical reasoning upon the other types of human thought, besides the logical, knowing what his attitude was toward emotion and pleasure. The supreme emotion is love, and romantic love and friendship have to do with certain qualities or characteristics that we find beautiful, though not necessarily surface or physical bodily characteristics. Beauty is a quality that cannot be defined, except that it is an attraction felt by the emotions. Beauty is a quality of both the physical and the psychical. The fact that Epicurus still valued emotions and pleasures that were sensory and felt toward things in the natural world shows that he must have valued beauty highly, and that it wasn't merely a transcendental form of this quality that he was appreciative of. Emotion and attraction to beauty are the only reasons for producing anything other than what we do for utility or subsistence. Even the desire for knowledge or wisdom is a type of attraction that can be described as toward the beautiful. This is the reason the beautiful and the good are often used as interchangeable qualities in describing the one, the unity. Epicurus was somewhat different, though. He could see emotion and attraction to beauty in the natural world, as well as in an other world of the spiritual beyond this one. The best art, of whatever form it may be, produces either an emotional reaction towards it or an attraction to its beauty. There is an emotion or attraction of some kind in the viewer or audience, a movement in the heart or mind. The Stoics and the other philosophers of solarism thought that the shadowy appearances of physical nature should not be allowed to move the inner psyche with these sensory impressions. Nietzsche thinks otherwise. The eagerness and subtlety, I should even say craftiness, with which the problem of the real and apparent world is dealt with at present throughout Europe furnishes food for thought and attention. Chapter 1, Paragraph 10. So did Epicurus theorize. He valued natural illusion because he was a Dionysian. The other sects of philosophy were Apollonian or Solarist, and they followed the theories of Socrates, who taught a denial of nature and its false appearances. Nature was thought of as being a shadowy and very uncertain place, and not of the same worth or substance as the light that shone down from above. And this was believed even though the physical sun was known to be only a similitude of the one unity. That which in the end always prefers a handful of certainty to a whole cartload of beautiful possibilities. There may even be puritanical fanatics of conscience who prefer to put their last trust in a sure nothing rather than in an uncertain something. But that is nihilism, and the sign of a despairing, mortally wearied soul. Chapter 1, Paragraph 10. Socrates saw the deductive and scientific operations of nature, the logical functioning of natural processes, and saw that divinity must be responsible for such a reasoned structuring of the world. Before this, the world had been a chaos of change and shifting appearances, with some type of unity beneath. Logic provided the method to understand the chaos of impermanence, and mind became superior to the changing sea of phenomena in its fantasia of impressions. Much of the Socratic philosophy must have existed before, such as a belief in an immortal soul. What was new was the method, the use of words and ideas and propositions. The problem with Socrates was that he liked the wrong God. The Athenians needed a god such as was Dionysus, a god that was close in their midst. They didn't like one god such as Helios, who remained far away and who was mostly unknown, except as a similitude of the sun with its light. It always creates the world in its own image. It cannot do otherwise. Chapter 1, Paragraph 9. Epicurus believed in the new method of dialectic philosophy, though he also kept with the old wisdom of the Knights of Chaos. The fantasia of change in nature was already understood in myth to be the divine drama of Lord Dionysus. The new method of reasoning with words only produced scientific explanations of the Deus ex machina, how the god moved the stage machinery to and from around the theater. It was an important progress made by philosophy, only it was merely the addition of a new method of thought, a way of gaining more knowledge of the natural scenery. A complete change in the estimation of existence did not, however, necessarily follow from this progress.